nervous? Are you like what's your mental state?
It's in a good place. This track can be kind of unpredictable, right? But we will control what we can control. And from there, we'll make a game plan going into the Roval. So I think it seems like the wreck comes from the lead car, right? And you don't know what's going to happen. So if you wait for it all day, you're probably going to give up on stage points. So it makes it pretty straightforward.
Denny Hamlin said that he might just race with the guys that are on the cutoff.
That's actually a really good point, right? Yeah. Hopefully we all wreck together, right? If someone's going to wreck.
But I mean, do you plan to stay with the guys that you are on the bubble along with you?
I mean, I wouldn't say directly. I'm thinking about it, I guess, that way, right? For us, it's try and qualify good. We're, not in the top 10, obviously, but I think we're hoping to end somewhere in the top 12 and still get a good pit stall and go from there. That will help our green flag cycles for sure. Outside of that, I mean, it is a pretty straightforward speedway race, right? We're going to have to try and be efficient on pit road during the green flag cycles, and hopefully that puts us in a position to score stage points in stage 1 and stage 2. I think we just got to pretty much race it straight up and just be quick on our toes if something does happen, and hopefully we can drive through it.
How much is it hard? How difficult is it to think, because a lot of drivers been talking about this, of people that you can't help because you'll help them, so you're not allowed to, the ones you have to work with, but
I don't think it's, you help yourself by helping your line for the most part, right? If you can get around fellow teammates, that's even better. So I wouldn't say it's quite that crazy, right? Like, you're not gonna sacrifice your own line just because the guy in front of you is battling around the same position that you are on points.
you don't think of it that deep.
No, just hopefully our line goes forward.
Do you sleep easier knowing the Rovals next weekend and how stout you've been on road courses in the past?
I'm not a good sleeper in general, so I don't know if playoffs or not really have an effect on it. But certainly it is going to be nice. Sleeping in my bed, I will say that. I mean, I guess that does make it easier to sleeping in my own bed.
But the Roval just in general.
Yeah, no, I mean.
You look forward to going there?
Yeah, I think, probably best case, we don't have to worry about points going to the Roval, right? That'd be that's the goal for the weekend. But I mean, because of the safety breaks and everything, it does give you the opportunity to mix it up if you need to go get some more stage points. So hopefully we're not in that situation, but if we are, we know what we need to do.
Did you just run into the wall on that last lap last week?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I didn't hit anything out there today.
No, the last one, everything was so crazy there at the end. But did you just misjudge it?
I mean, ultimately yes, but me and Brad were door to door there, and from what I've seen looking back at it, like, I kind of surged ahead just a little bit, and kind of got his nose kind of got in that area where if you lay it on, I don't think he did anything intentional, right? It was just situation, but certainly the timing of it, right, when he got back to my left rear, that's when the corner kind of flattens off and the thing just took off plowing tight and just knocked the wall down. So something to learn from it for sure, right? People are going to be pushing really hard at the end of the races, and I wanted to get another spot or two, right? But what we lost on the flip side was not good for us. So a lesson learned for sure.
How valuable are stage points? You mentioned that, and we've seen that even with like Truex.
Yeah, it's going to be everything, right? What you get for stage points, I think, is going to kind of determine how you race next week. So yeah, you got to go up there and get them for sure. You don't want to lay back and see who gets them and who doesn't, and then have to shift your game plan accordingly.
So how aggressive does Tyler Reddick feel like he needs to be, being so close to the cutoff line and wild card here, and you don't know what can happen at the Roval?
I mean, it just kind of depends on where we're at in the draft, right? If we're in a good, I'm in a position where I can help move my line forward in the stages, we're gonna do everything we can to go after him, right? I mean, it's pretty much, I wouldn't say it's anything too crazy different than what we've tried to do here in the past in the regular season or at Daytona for that matter.
And have you and Bubba talked about like teaming up together, or are you guys just trying to work with all the Toyota drivers? Like, what's that been like in preparation for tomorrow?
Yeah, nothing crazy different. We're gonna do what we do best, I'd say.
Next week will look very different with stage cautions brought back.
Well,
once you're
different, right? It'll look like it used to, I guess. Right?
Exactly. Well, different from races this year. when will the decision, once you know your points after tomorrow versus stage racing versus going for the win, when will that decision be made?
Yeah, we'll figure it out sometime next week. I mean, could be Monday, Tuesday, I don't know. But we'll figure it out. I mean, it's not going to change what we bring to the racetrack for a vehicle, right? We're still going to bring the best we can. But certainly, I mean, I wouldn't say we have to think about it too hard. It's a pretty straightforward strategy. Either go for stage points or you set yourself up to have track position to win.
How would you rate the unknown / wild card factor of the Roval?
I wouldn't say it's like I don't think it's, maybe if someone's brakes don't work or someone's controller disconnects, right? Like, it's going to be a mess in turn one, but I actually think what they're doing with the restart zone will make it a little bit less chaotic, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, right? So everyone's got enough laps around that place. The next gen car handles pretty good for the most part, right? I don't think it's really an unknown or a wild card in that sense anymore. The cars are pretty glued around that racetrack.
How do you assess this year with 2311? What have you, what did you expect, and has that played out, or are there things that were better than you expected going in?
Well, I knew what we're building towards, right? And for us to have a lot of things really close to where we want them to be already is a great sign. So I'd say it's going, expectations are an interesting thing, right? Like I knew we were going to be able to win races. We have. I knew we were going to find our way into the playoffs. We did, right? I'd say, I think looking back at the year from the beginning, I think it would be pretty successful on a larger scale looking at it if both cars, made the round of 8. And I think we have a great opportunity to be able to do that these next 2 weeks. But, if we get there or don't, it's not like it's the end of the world. Or, a lot of the things that we're doing well are going to be really important moving forward. So I'm really happy with all the things we do have going right.
Denny said he just wanted to get 2 cars in the playoffs. So, borrowed money at this point, is everything else just gravy from here?
Still work hard, right? None of that's changed. But it is nice to know, like, we're able to get both cars in the playoffs, and we have the speed we need to contend, and I think we're definitely fast enough to have a solid shot at it. If things go right and we make it to the round of 8, it's just, it's all the little things. Every mistake or everything that can go, one thing can kind of change the outcome of your race or your competitor's race. So it's really important to just take advantage of the situations you find yourself in and make the most out of your days.
How do you balance in these playoffs getting away or taking a break? In one sense, people will say, hey, maybe it's a good thing just to kind of break away because it's a 10-week potentially high stress, versus the idea of, maybe you think, gosh, if I take off too much time now, I'm giving driver X, Y, and Z the advantage over me because I'm sure they're working all the time too. How do you balance how much time you take off and how do you not, try to figure that? I don't know how that.
I feel like I'm pretty fortunate. I don't feel like I need a whole lot of balance, especially when we get into the playoffs. I mean, you look at what we do every year, right? We race 30, 38 weekends out of the year. So you're on the road a lot, so you kind of have to live for the grind, right? So I enjoy it, right? I haven't once during this entire process so far, whether it's been this year or years past or even the Xfinity Series, thought, dang, I wish I had a little bit of a break or time away from it. Kind of live for it, enjoy it. It's a fun time. There's a lot on the table for a number of teams, right?
What makes this more fun than the other races? I mean, other than maybe just a heightened what's at stake, or what you talk about fun. I think some people might not always look at the last 10 weeks as being the most fun for drivers at times.
I don't know. I mean, pressure is just fun, I guess. I don't know how else to put it, right? Like these moments are intense, but the reward on the other side of it when they go right is one of the best feelings in the world. So you just gotta kind of live for it and kind of thrive in that environment.
You just said a minute ago the Roval is not as crazy as it used to be. Next week could be the last race on the Roval. Where do you fall in the camp of Charlotte Oval versus Roval for the fall race?
I mean, the Roval is certainly it's a tricky course, right? I mean, the oval has been great though for the next gen car, so it is a delicate balance. Yeah, both are obviously very different from one another, but certainly it's good that we do have the 2 dates at Charlotte. So you do go with it either way. I feel like both layouts we contend really well there. So I do enjoy having a road course in the playoffs for sure. I don't know how others feel about that, but yeah, I'm glad it's still in it. You know, we'll see what the future holds.